Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're taking a trip across the pond to explore the top 5 most expensive cities in Europe. Now I know what you're thinking. Europe, expensive? Isn't that where everyone backpacks across countries on a shoestring budget? Well, while Europe definitely offers affordable travel options, it's also home to some seriously pricey cities. We're talking cities where a simple cup of coffee can cost you a small fortune, and finding an apartment might require taking out a second mortgage. If you're planning on moving to Europe or even just dreaming of a luxurious European vacation, you'll want to pay close attention. We're going to break down the cost of living in each of these cities, from rent and groceries to transportation and entertainment. We'll explore why these cities are so expensive and whether the quality of life justifies the high price tag. So buckle up and get ready for a wild ride through Europe's most exclusive zip codes. Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the top 5 cities in Europe with the highest cost of living. If you're planning to move to Europe or just curious about the most expensive places to live, stay tuned. First up, we're heading to the heart of Switzerland, Zurich, known for its stunning scenery, efficient public transportation, and you guessed it, a high cost of living. Let's just say if you're on a budget, Zurich might leave your wallet feeling a little light. Housing in Zurich is notoriously expensive. Think San Francisco or Manhattan levels of competition and price. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center can easily set you back over $2,500 a month, and that's before you even factor in utilities. And speaking of utilities, be prepared to shell out a pretty penny for those too. But hey, at least the quality of life is through the roof. Zurich consistently ranks highly in global quality of life surveys, thanks to its low crime rates, excellent healthcare, and efficient public services. Plus, with the Swiss Alps right on your doorstep, you'll have plenty of opportunities for hiking, skiing, and soaking up those incredible views. Just maybe pack a picnic from home. Those grocery prices can be a real shocker. And don't even get me started on the chocolate. It's expensive, but trust me, it's worth every penny. Just maybe set a budget for those Swiss chocolate indulgences, or you might find yourself with an empty wallet and a mountain of guilt. So, is Zurich worth the high cost of living? Well, that depends. If you prioritize safety, efficiency, and breathtaking scenery, and you're willing to pay a premium for it, then Zurich could be your dream city. But if you're on a tight budget, you might want to consider some of the other amazing and slightly more affordable cities Europe has to offer. Next, we're jetting off to Geneva, Switzerland, a city synonymous with luxury, diplomacy, and yes, a hefty price tag. Home to numerous international organizations and a favorite playground for the ultra-wealthy, Geneva is not a city for the faint of wallet. One of the first things you'll notice about Geneva is the real estate. We're talking sprawling villas overlooking Lake Geneva, sleek penthouse apartments with panoramic city views, properties that wouldn't look out of place in a James Bond film. And the price tags? Let's just say they're as impressive as the properties themselves, but it's not just housing that will break the bank in Geneva. Prepare to pay a premium for everything from groceries and dining out to transportation and entertainment. A simple lunch at a cafe can easily set you back $25, and a cocktail at a fancy bar, well, let's just say you might want to start saving up now. However, Geneva does offer a certain je ne sais quoi. The city is incredibly safe and clean, with a high standard of living. You'll find world-class museums, theaters, and restaurants, along with a vibrant international community. Plus, with the French Alps just a stone's throw away, you'll have access to some of the most stunning natural beauty in the world. So, is Geneva worth the high cost of living? If you're looking for a luxurious and sophisticated lifestyle with a global outlook, Geneva might just be the perfect fit. But if you're on a budget, you might want to admire this city from afar. Chapter 3, London, a global hub with a royal price tag. From Switzerland, we're hopping over to the UK, landing in none other than London. This iconic city needs no introduction. Home to Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, and a melting pot of cultures, London is a global hub for finance, fashion, and tourism. It's also a city that can drain your bank account faster than you can say, mind the gap. Let's start with the elephant in the room rent. London's rental market is notoriously competitive and expensive, with prices rivaling those of New York City. A tiny studio apartment in a decent neighborhood can easily set you back over $2,000 a month, and that's before you factor in bills. And speaking of bills, utilities in London aren't exactly cheap either. But it's not just rent that will make your eyes water. From the cost of groceries and transportation to dining out and entertainment, London comes with a premium price tag on just about everything. A pint of beer at a pub can easily cost you $8, and a meal at a mid-range restaurant can easily set you back $50 per person. So, why do people choose to live in such an expensive city? Well, London offers a certain energy and excitement that's hard to find anywhere else. It's a city that truly has it all: world-class museums and theatres, Michelin-starred restaurants and cozy pubs, sprawling parks and bustling markets. Plus, with its extensive public transportation system, you can easily explore everything the city has to offer. Just be prepared to budget accordingly. Living in London is an experience like no other, but it comes at a cost. If you're not careful, you could easily find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, even with a good income. Chapter 4. Copenhagen's Scandinavian chic with a price to match. Next, we're heading north to Copenhagen, Denmark, a city renowned for its stylish design, happy citizens, and yes, a high cost of living. Copenhagen consistently ranks among the most livable cities in the world, but that quality of life comes at a price. One of the biggest expenses you'll face in Copenhagen is housing. The city has a limited housing supply and high demand, which has driven up prices in recent years. Expect to pay a premium for even a small apartment, especially if you want to live in the city centre. But it's not just housing that's expensive in Copenhagen. Food, transportation, and entertainment will also put a dent in your wallet. Groceries in particular can be shockingly expensive, especially if you're used to American prices. So what do you get for the high cost of living in Copenhagen? Well, a lot. The city is incredibly safe and clean, with an efficient public transportation system and a focus on sustainability. You'll also find a thriving cultural scene with world-class museums, theatres and restaurants. And let's not forget about the hygge. Copenhagen is famous for its cozy and inviting atmosphere, which is reflected in everything from its cafes and restaurants to its homes and public spaces. However, living in Copenhagen requires a certain level of financial preparedness. If you're not careful, the high cost of living can quickly eat away at your savings, but for those who can afford it, Copenhagen offers an unparalleled quality of life. Chapter 5. Oslo, where fjords meet fortune. Finally, we're ending our journey in Oslo, Norway, a city nestled amidst stunning fjords and known for its high quality of life. But as you might have guessed, all that natural beauty and Scandinavian charm comes at a price. Oslo consistently ranks among the most expensive cities in the world, and for good reason. Housing costs are astronomical, with even small apartments in the city centre commanding exorbitant prices. And don't even get me started on the cost of buying property. But it's not just housing that will break the bank in Oslo. Groceries are notoriously expensive, with even basic necessities like milk and bread costing significantly more than in other European cities. And if you're a fan of dining out or enjoying a few drinks with friends, be prepared to shell out a pretty penny. So, what makes Oslo worth the high cost of living? For starters, the city boasts an incredible quality of life. It's incredibly safe and clean, with a well-developed public transportation system and a strong emphasis on work-life balance. Plus, with its stunning natural surroundings, Oslo offers endless opportunities for outdoor recreation, from hiking and skiing in the nearby mountains to kayaking and sailing in the fjords. Oslo also has a thriving cultural scene with world-class museums, theatres and restaurants. And let's not forget about the Norwegian concept of friluftsliv, the love of the outdoors. Osloers are passionate about spending time in nature, and the city's many parks and green spaces provide the perfect escape from the hustle and bustle of city life. But let's be real, living in Oslo requires a substantial income. If you're not earning a high salary, you might find it challenging to make ends meet. However, if you're fortunate enough to afford it, Oslo offers an exceptional quality of life that's hard to beat. Well, there you have it, the top 5 most expensive cities in Europe. From the soaring skyscrapers of London to the charming canals of Copenhagen, these cities offer a glimpse into a world of luxury, culture, and yes, a high cost of living. But as we've seen, the high price tag often comes with a high quality of life, whether it's the safety and efficiency of Zurich, the stunning scenery of Oslo, or the vibrant energy of London. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to live in one of these cities comes down to your individual priorities and financial situation. If you're someone who values experiences, culture, and a high standard of living, and you're willing to pay a premium for it, then one of these cities might just be the perfect place for you. But if you're on a tight budget or you prioritize affordability above all else, you might be better off exploring some of the other amazing and more affordable cities that Europe has to offer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. Let us know in the comments which city surprised you the most.